Welcome to Guardian Tactical. Today we're going to be discussing EDC or everyday carry. This is kind of a personal topic, and I say that because it is personal. Everybody's everyday carry or EDC is different from the person next to them because we're all different. We all have different roles and responsibilities, things that we do or like to do, things that we value. So your EDC is going to reflect that. EDC does not mean a gun on your hip. EDC is closer for the majority of people in the world to a wallet, a cell phone, keys. Um, but it does extend into the firearm space because there are a lot of people who conceal carry or open carry, depending on the person. And so today we're going to break down what I personally carry every day and go over what I have found and learned over the years and what I'd like to share with people that maybe they haven't thought of and that I wish I had learned before I'd spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on flashy pieces of equipment that I thought I needed because I thought it looked cool, whatever it is. EDC should be something that you can keep on your person at all times that does not cause you too much of an inconvenience. And I mean that because some of this will be an inconvenience, whether it's because you have to dress a certain way, you have to avoid doing certain things, you have to avoid going certain places. But for the most part, it should be like breathing. I mean, it's it's always there when you need it. You always need it, etc. So we're going to start over here with obviously the cell phone. Everybody probably carries a cell phone these days. Good, smart, reliable smartphone. Uh, Ability to connect with everybody, look up information is invaluable. And obviously, we all carry one. So that's going to be one of the first items I grab in the morning. Next is going to be my wallet. Can't really go anywhere without it. You need your driver's license to drive. Obviously, you're not going to go to too many places unless it's just work where you are going to spend money. And obviously, you need to be able to carry your money in some form or fashion, unless you've got it on your phone. Next is something that I think not enough people do, which is carry a pocket knife. Now, this is the knife I've carried for a couple years now. And as you can see on the blade, it has seen better days because I have used this relentlessly. And I've not done a great job maintaining it, which is a shame on me. But the most important thing is that I've always had it on me, and I carry it and use it. I personally think all the movies where people are dying because the car goes over the bridge and they drown in the pond would probably be reduced if somebody in the car had a pocket knife and could have cut their car seat or their seatbelt. I'm sorry. But I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't carry a pocket knife. My father actually gave me this particular one. It's an 8015 light. It's a great knife, very durable, little big in a lot of people's opinion, but for me, it's just right. I like something with a little meat on it. I've recently transitioned to a Tecto knife, which is a lot sleeker, but razor sharp and very reliable. Highly recommend either one of these knives to anybody who's looking for a new pocket knife. Um, Both are a little pricier, but if you want a budget knife, you're going to get budget quality out of it. It's going to not maintain an edge. It's going to stop. The the locking mechanism could get jammed on you, whatever it may be. So that's one I'd recommend investing a little bit on because it's going to last you a while, especially if you take care of it. Next piece of equipment is headphones. Uh, doesn't have to be any specific brand as long as it works. I carry Galaxy earbuds, um, and I absolutely love them. They're comfortable. They always work. Great sound quality. The ability to keep my hands free is invaluable with any of the responsibilities I have. I'm always having headphones in my ears because I'm either always on the phone, needing to keep up to date on texts, whatever it is, and or even if I'm just standing on duty for 4 hours, being able to listen to a podcast, scripture, music, whatever it is helpful to keep my mind busy while I'm working. Obviously, next we got car keys and house keys. Now, on these house keys, they'll, obviously it's gonna be different for everybody. But on here, I've got, I got my blood type, house keys, safe keys, handcuff keys, uh, any number of things, and this is going to depend on you. Uh, I'd recommend keeping this as bare bones as possible because you're going to look like a janitor otherwise, and nobody likes to hear themselves walking down a hallway or anywhere else with the keys clanking against their leg or in their bag. Plus, whenever you need a key, you're going to spend 5 minutes looking for it if you've got too many. Keep it simple, keep it minimal, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Uh, Next, obviously, we go to the firearms. I know I mentioned it in my last video, but your firearm needs to be something that you're willing to shoot regularly with. If you don't train with it, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Uh, Customize it to yourself, research, shoot before you buy, etc. I'm a big fan of the SIG P365X Macro, and I've got it customized myself. I've carried it like this for over a year now. Um, and we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about this than we are about anything else because one of the things, like I mentioned last week, is I always bought guns before researching them and really wasted a lot of time and money doing that. Something as simple as a light can ruin your opportunity to find a holster, and lights are expensive, and none of us want to spend $500-600 going through lights until we finally find a light that's compatible with the gun and the holster. So do your research in advance of what kind of gun you want, but also what all you want on it and what all you want it to do before you purchase it. Make sure you can find holsters, accessories, etc., and that you're willing to spend the money on those items because they do add up and they do get quite expensive. Um, and obviously, not we're all not Elon Musk. We're not all made of money. So let's be smart about it so that we can buy once, cry once, and be done with it, and not buy 7 times and cry 7 times until we finally get it right, like I have. So on here, we've got the Radiant backstrap with Magwell. I Like I said last week, really like this because it fills my hands very nicely, and with a guy with big hands, very important, especially with the compact carry. And then I've got this Radiant Afterburner, which statistically mitigates 44% of recoil. And a big problem that these smaller guns have is they're harder to control and they're very, very recoil heavy, even with a small caliber like a 9mm. So having this Radiant Afterburner makes a huge difference. I mean, with the way I have the firearm set up, it truly feels like a full size gun when I shoot, which is phenomenal and it encourages me to shoot it and actually train with it. Next, let's talk about the magazines. So over here, I typically carry the standard OEM magazine with either a Radian base plate or the Terran Tactical base magazine extension, which I think this is the Versatile, which is compatible with a dozen different magazine types. When I'm concealed carrying, I typically go with a flush fit magazine because it's easier to conceal. Uh, I'm not a big fan of open carry unless you are law enforcement, military, armed security, etc. You're going to pick yourself up a giant target on your back, and that could prevent you from even having the opportunity to defend yourself or the people you care about if a bad guy sees a firearm on your hip and put you down before you have an opportunity to respond. So I highly recommend concealed carry. It's your right to open carry, and that's your choice. That's just some internet guy's opinion. So, but if you do agree with me, go with flush fit. You can always carry an extended mag in the magazine pouch if you choose to carry a second magazine. That way, you still have the rounds on you, but it's easier to conceal. And to show you that, I've got two different mags to demonstrate that. Obviously, the firearm's clear, flush fit, very minimal. Still hidden by my hand and won't protrude the shirt. Put the extended mag out. Now you got that extra inch that you have to conceal, which you can still do, but it's a lot harder, especially if you wear a little tighter fitting clothing, or you're bending down to pick something up, you reach up to grab something, whatever it is, you're just increasing the opportunity of this getting caught on your shirt or on a bag and being seen. On that, so I'm a bigger guy, so I've got a little more tactical fluff on me than I'd care to. So I don't appendix carry, which means having your firearm in the front of your pants. I carry at the 3 to 4 o'clock position personally, and I typically carry with this holster, which is from T-Rex Arms, which I know they've got their own stuff going on right now, but they make a great quality product. So typically I carry like that with my spare magazine separately. Uh, it's a great holster. It's a great setup for me. I also, at times, especially in the winter when I have coats on, will carry outside the waistband because I can still hide this holster underneath layers of clothes where nobody can see it, but it's a lot more comfortable because it's not inside my pant line, inside a belt, rubbing against me, impeding my movement. It sits on the outside of my waist, and I can get to it easily. I just gotta defeat layers of garment. All kind of depends on you, your build, what you're comfortable with. But if you do want to carry outside the waistband, I believe this is called the Ironside from T-Rex Arms, and very durable, very comfortable holster. Now, fixed blades, not a huge fan of carrying them. Not really much of a point to carry 6 knives on you, pistol with mags, all sorts of stuff. A bit excessive, and you want to keep this as minimal as possible so that you're encouraged to wear it and not overburdened with 60 pounds of gear on your belt or in your pants or in a bag. But if you do want to carry a fixed blade, I recommend something small like this Benchmade. I think it's the SOCP, which is a straight blade little dagger, and you can tuck this along the your belt line and just loop this through your belt loops or the belt itself, and it'll stay right there. And you just slide your finger through and grab it and go. But if you want to carry a fixed blade, great option. Otherwise, a Tecto or whatever knife, folding knife or automatic knife, it would be perfectly sufficient. I really appreciate you guys joining me this week, and I appreciate all the support you guys showed me last week. If there's anything specific you'd like to see me cover, please leave a comment down below. Like the video, subscribe. I'm here for you guys. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and I will see you next week. Thank you, everybody.